Let's jump into the next stuff. We got a Modulator Deluxe class MicroMaster base, and we got one of the new Battlemasters. Now let's talk about the more interesting one first. We have here Airwave Modulator, the Modulator Deluxe MicroMaster base that is an homage to the old airport base Airwave. Now this is where it gets a kind of weird, just like what we had with Ironworks, where it's like, okay, you have Ironworks, but is it the name of the MicroMaster? Is it the name of the base? Oh, now the base is sentient. And we had that whole weird story with that. And then, so, oh, here's Iron Tread. So that's going to be the name of the little MicroMaster. And the base itself is called Ironworks. And it's like, okay, cool. So now we have the same situation here. For the longest time, Airwave was the name of the little MicroMaster, and the base was just the airport. Now, it seems that because of the MicroMaster Siege 10 pack that we got, about a couple months ago, we had a character named Overair, which clearly was an homage to Airwave, or if not Airwave himself completely. And now we have Airwave, the base itself. So what's great about this is that, first of all, it does the traditional, I guess we'll call it carrier mode. That's kind of like, oh, it's a little carrier gas station, whatever. It does the double missile battle platform mode. And then, as I talked about in the previous segment with the race car patrol, or the racetrack patrol, it turns into a little dual lane drag race playset too, which I really dig, and that's a nice little extra. But what's also interesting is when we get to the robot mode, which again, something that is not grounded from anything in G1, it could be an open canvas that they could do whatever they want. We get a weird homage, and this is just my opinion, but it looks like we get a weird homage to Iron Fist from the IDW comics, specifically his colors of how he was depicted there. That's at least what I see. I don't know if it's trying to be Iron Fist, but I think it's more just, or, Fistatron, whatever trademark they have at the time that they could use. But I think that it's an homage and not so much implied that this is Iron Fist. It's just, hey, check out these colors, kind of works out. When you look at the old, MicroMaster base, it kind of also has those colors, maybe not so much on a light blue, but a dark blue, but it's there. So I really dig this. Again, this is the stuff that I'm going to eat up. Amazing play sets, a race car track. What more could I ask for? It looks great. It's super exciting. And I guess anyone who wants to really have the complete version of this, you got to go out and get that MicroMaster Siege 10 pack to get your full, complete version of this. Now, speaking about playsets, what about your battle platforms or your little platforms? Well, just like in the past, how we had Sound Barrier, that was going to be one of the platforms. It's a little Battlemaster that transforms into a platform that you could clip all your playsets together. You're going to be getting another one in the character of Doublecrosser. Now, this one's interesting because it's like, okay, so there was a character called Double Cross. It was an Autobot. It was one of those Spark bots. They obviously couldn't use the Double Cross IP. Maybe they felt that Double Cross wasn't a good name for an Autobot, so they went with the new trademark Twinferno. And that kind of became the trademark for that character. It was used for the Generations toy. It was used for an iteration of that in the Robots in Disguise 2.0 line in 2015. He was still called Double Cross in the Legends line in Japan, but he was called Twinferno everywhere else. Now we have this character, and this character, it's a two-headed character. So it's like, oh, is this an homage to Doubleheader, the two-headed Pretender shell? Doesn't really have those colors. But, is it Rack and Rune an homage? But it doesn't really have those colors. Doubleheader and Rack and Rune, those characters were Autobots. This is a Decepticon. And when you look at those colors, and to kind of pull from the Pretender connection, it almost looks like Oilmaster. And Oilmaster, if you look through Transformers' lineage, that's that very weird, Pretender shell, Gorilla, double Pretender, triple Pretender, thing going on. But the colors of the robot mode of this thing look a lot like Oilmaster with the purples and the grays and the red face. It's just me. It's just what I'm seeing here. But what does he transform into? Yet another one of those battle platforms, in this case a clearish orangey red. And they even show here an image of this character attaching to the soon-to-be fast track that we have with Scorponok to probably, cement together, hey, could be attached to the base could be attached in many different ways. Could be a protection piece, a shield, and it also comes with a blast accessory. So it's just me kind of trying to figure out what they were going with this. Just like when we looked at Sound Barrier, there's no clear indication of what they were going for. It's a new character. I see a little bit of Oil Master here. I see a little bit of the double-header, Rack and Rune kind of double-headed character. A name that it possesses that's not Double Cross, the two-headed dragon, Sparkbot, something else completely. A lot of interesting things you could dive into. Let me know what you think about that one. Maybe I'm missing something here. But that's what I take from my extensive knowledge of the brand and what I see with this character. So these are two interesting things. I dig them both. Obviously, I'm going to be all over those Modulator Deluxe MicroMaster bases. It's all part of the fun and the play pattern that exists with EarthRise, and it's going to continue with this, and hopefully we're going to be getting more versions of that and maybe more reveals as Toy Fair continues this weekend.